Buddy, welcome back to Web3 DJs, home of the hottest projects, biggest influencers, and best conversations on the blockchain. Today, I'm taking a drink every time Hofstra bring KTF. That's a joke. But yeah, again, welcome back. We're glad to have you all here. I'm your host, Sticky Finger Jones. I got the man, the myth, the one who stacks it until it takes off, none other than and yeah, we got a great show lined up for you all. We are going to be highlighting probably the most famous woman on the planet, the woman that's on every single one of our minds, but this time it's not for what you think. Before we get into that though, Hofstra, how you doing today?
Good, man. I just got off a 4-day trip to Austin, so I'm back in my home state of New Mexico, and it's nice and cold over here, but it's feels good to be home.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I can attest to that. I'm going to be going on a little bit of a trip myself this weekend. Hoping to not get too far removed from the crypto and Web3 space because we talk about it all the time. You know, I'm missing 3 days. It's going to be like missing 3 years. Not super thrilled for that, but I am excited for what I'm going to go do. So, fired up for that. Yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So, you guys know we like to start these shows off by giving you guys kind of an overall crypto recap. And so we've got this here for you all today. Let's start out with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at $19,940. It's down 1% over the last 24 hours, but it's still up 2.47% over the last 7 days. Ethereum, $1,351, down 11 or 0.11%, over the last 24 hours, but up 1.69 percent over the last 7 days. Again, we talk about it all the time. These patterns, these charts really follow each other, so it's great to see. Let's move on. I know we get a little contention here. I do like to bring up Ripple whenever I see it on here. It's at 0.49 cents, down 0.13% over the last 24 hours, but also up 1.47% over the last 7 days. Moving on. Solana, probably the hottest blockchain out there right now. Solana's at $33.39, down 1.77% over the last 24 hours, down 1.22% over the last 7 days. They did have another network outage, so we always have to wonder how much that plays into this. And then finally, we go to our personal favorites down here, if you will. ApeCoin, $5.15, down 0.77% over the last 24 hours, down 4.72% over the last 7 days. And last but not least, Tezos, up 0.07% over the last 24 hours and up 0.05% over the last 7 days. Hofstra, how are you feeling about crypto right now? You buying, you adding, you stacking? What's going on here?
I'm just sitting right now. I'm probably going to liquidate a few things and maybe buy into another project or two. But speaking of markets, I don't know if I can share my screen here.
You can. Actually, I did want to bring up one thing real quick. So, before we get into our NFT recap, something that I wanted to call out, and this was really interesting, actually, is that we see a lot of crypto is down. And that's also true across the board for anybody who's here in the U.S. economy. So people are saying, are we about to enter an economic crisis? I came across the best indicator of a recession. And listen to this. There is no better indicator of a recession, not the unemployment rate, not interest rate hikes, not the housing market, but whether or not the Philadelphia Phillies win the World Series. It's really interesting because over the past 100 years, literally the surest sign of any sort of economic downturn has been whether or not a Philly-based baseball team won the World Series. It happened in 1929, happened in 1930, 1980, and 2008. Now, you guys might be thinking, okay, you know what's going on with that? Let me just leave it at this. Monday night, the Philadelphia Phillies clinched the off spot. So everybody that's in Web3, crypto, anything like that, if you just love money, we're all going against the Phillies here. So what you got for us, Hofstra?
Where the hell did you find that stat at?
You know me, I'm just a big data guy. I subscribe to a bunch of different like newsletters and things like that. So where I found this specific piece of information is called the Morning Brew. So and I'll tell you what, a morning brew sounds right just about now. So what's going on in the NFT world?
Classic publication. Okay, well,
is it not? Wait. What's up? What's wrong with the morning brew? Have you heard about this before?
No,
Is
I've
it?
heard of the morning brew. It's good. It's
Oh,
good.
okay. I thought you were just trying to. I'm like, hey, if
Mess with
Hofstra
you.
doesn't approve, I'm gonna take it off right now. So, and I'll unsubscribe. Just want to make
It's
sure
more
we're
of like
safe.
a Gen Zers thing, you know.
There it is. There it is.
Us millennials, we like, more established publications like Coin Market Cap.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Like
Um,
the Onion.
yeah, like the Onion. So anyway, there's not a whole lot. I mean, it's a lot of the same. Renga. I mean, if you're in the space, all you're hearing is Renga, but it's pulled back significantly. Floor price is 2. It was over real close to 3.
I think I saw it over 3 actually as well, like
Yeah, so pulled
3.44
back
maybe.
at least 1 ETH, which is good because I've been wanting to buy into this, but I missed the pump, and then I'm gonna buy it now, and it's just gonna keep going down.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. Don't buy it.
no, I'm just sitting back, man. I mean, the way I look at this stuff is like we're not even a month out, so I mean we've been in this space long enough to see lots of stuff jump up, and then if you can make it 3 months, you probably got a chance, but a lot of times it's just a slow bleed. So, I mean, some other project's going to come and take the spotlight, and Renga's going to get pushed to the back, and then that's when you want to buy if you believe in it long term. But this is the 7-day look back. So Renga is number one, and then it's a lot of the same: Crypto Punks, Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, another Renga. This QQL, like we talked about on the last one, that raised 17 million. These guys have been ripping.
Hold on.
And then one that you wanted me to talk about was this Katara World official. Now, I don't know much about Katara World other than some of the people in the space have been talking about it.
Yeah. I can talk about this one a little bit. So I bought 2 at 0.05. My only regret is that I didn't buy more. So I bought 2 at 0.05. I flipped one at 0.165, and then I flipped my second one for zero point 0.4 ish. Basically, that project, what they're attempting to do is create a augmented reality coloring book where if you own one of these characters, it might be featured in the coloring book. For me, I probably rather just, I got my colored pencils and stuff right here. Shout out to Crayola. Um,
So, you have crayons?
I would
Okay.
rather color in person, but yeah, really interesting. I think the art's cool. That's what got me into it. I think the art is cool. And then you're showing some of my other degen plays on the screen right now. Um,
Yeah, one that I'm going to talk about here when I get into the news. Cool Cat's jumped up here, but it's not. It's not like it's doing a ton, but there's some pretty big news around that. So the market, though, it's kind of sad. So this is a 7-day look, but we're averaging like 4.5 million, 4 million in sales a day, which is super low. All time. I mean, I wish I could, well, let's go 30 days, 285 million. But yeah, it's still down a lot. So I've heard people saying, are we ready for another bull? Is it happening? Because, the Renga pump and QQL and some of these other projects kind of jumping up. But I don't know. There's not enough sustainable and not enough projects that have consistently been moving up. I mean, it's bound to happen, but I don't think that we're experiencing any sort of a bull because if you look at the volume, I mean, it's still 4 million a day.
I also
Compared
just
to like,
told you, the Phillies clinched a playoff spot. If they win the World Series, you better buckle up. It's going to be tough sledding for the next few years.
I mean, the Phillies are cool, but we could talk about Kim Kardashian. I know you led with that. And I guess, I mean, I don't know. It's news. Kim Kardashian, charged by SEC, agrees to pay $1.3 million in fine, which is like chump change to her. Looks like she just wrote a check. But the interesting thing here is it said she is going to work with the SEC on ongoing investigations. So maybe she's flipping. Maybe she's going to turn some of these other guys in. But I don't know if you remember this, but Ethereum Max, a bunch of celebrities pushed it, made a bag, and then now it looks like they're starting to come after these guys. So you don't want to mess with the SEC. So it's easier just to write a check and move on.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it reminds me of exactly what we said on our show a number of different times, man. And we got this from the Full Send podcast with Jordan Belfort. And if you're not familiar with Jordan Belfort, he's, I mean, probably the closest thing we could have to an expert in this sort of situation. And basically, what he suggested is that the wheels of justice grind slowly, but they grind. And eventually, they're going to find somebody like this to make an example out of. And really, that's kind of the way that I viewed this whole thing, is like the SEC fined Kim Kardashian essentially as a warning to all of these other celebrities. And let's also, make sure that we talk about this. She got paid $250,000 to put this link up in her bio, and now she's being charged 5 times that in payments because she didn't report it. And literally all she did was she created a story and then in all caps said, "Are you guys into crypto?" with a bunch of question marks on her story with the link to Ethereum Max. And so that's really, really interesting. As a matter of fact, we've seen this all the time. We've seen it with Floyd Mayweather. We've seen it with, the Pauls, a number of different like famous people. Um, and here's a quote that I got that I thought was really interesting as well. Is Kardashian's crypto promotion the most egregious in the wild west of crypto?
No.
Probably not. Exactly. But experts say that by focusing on the ultra famous superstar, regulators are trying to warn all celebrities and influencers that they should think twice before offering financial advice on the blockchain. And that's why we say on this show, do your own research, not financial advice. Eat dips, not dicks. Trade your plan. Always take profits. I think those are all the guys, all the acronyms. So.
Yeah, this part right here, it says this is a case. This case is a reminder that celebrities or influencers that endorse investment opportunities, including crypto assets, it doesn't mean that those investment products are right for all investors. We encourage investors to consider an investment's potential risks and opportunities in the light of their own financial goals. But you know what's crazy about this? I'm in this CEO owner group with a guy that owns a vitamin company in Santa Fe, and during COVID, Kim Kardashian on Snapchat promoted his product. He didn't pay her to do this. She just liked, I forget what it was, but it was some sort of trend, I guess, on TikTok. And this guy's like in his 60s, this old like French Canadian guy, and he didn't know why his business was just blowing up. But he got $3 million in increased business just by her going on Snapchat saying, "I use this product on my face." And like he exploded during COVID. Like he couldn't keep up with the capacity. I mean, that's the sort of power that these girls have with their endorsements. So I get it. I mean, I wonder if a lot of people lost money, but man, I wish they would go after a lot of these rappers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how many rappers did this? Just like scam people out of money and left, and like they're not being charged.
A lot. Yeah, exactly. Here's my whole perspective on this thing. First of all, if you're looking to Kim Kardashian for your financial advice, I mean, we can go into a whole episode on maybe why you should look at other sources. Uh, Number two, I'm hoping that this actually turns out into a positive. It was a really big story. You've seen like every single publication under the sun wrote something about it. Hopefully that hopefully the thought that no bad or that all press is good press, kind of really plays out here, and that we get some more people into the crypto space. Before we move on to our next pieces of news, though, we do got to remind you guys, if you enjoy this content, the number one thing that you can do, smash this subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that and hit the subscribe button. If you're watching us on Twitter, shoot us a retweet, tag your friend, and let somebody else know about the show. Hofstra, what else we got for our news?
Well, I mean, I know you like to hear me talk about 10KTF. And I guess they're storytelling NFTs, next gen storytelling. So this is a big one, actually. Disney is hiring a crypto attorney. Is Disney about to make its big crypto move into the NFT metaverse and DeFi? Well, it's just about time, but they placed an ad looking for someone to assist in performing due diligence for NFT blockchain, third-party marketplace, and cloud provider projects, and negotiating and drafting complex agreements for those projects. Provide thought leadership and strategic direction on products involving digital currency and blockchain technology while providing advice on related legal and regulatory issues. So this is what we were talking about. When these big companies come in, they're going to come in different. They're just going to buy stuff, or they're going to put big deals together and they're going to make a splash. But if they're hiring an attorney, it looks like they're going to start getting serious about this. But this part right here, like it says that they don't like the word metaverse. They feel like there's a lot of hair on the word metaverse.
Okay.
But so they're calling it next gen storytelling. And they announced this at this D3 Expo fan convention. But it says, we call it next gen storytelling. We tend not to use the M word too often because it's got a lot of hair on it. But yes, Disney Plus will not just be a movie service platform, but it's going to become an experiential lifestyle platform, a platform for the whole company to
Oh,
embody both the physical things that you may be able to experience in a theme park, but also the digital experiences that you can get through media. So when we talk about the technology not catching up yet to
mhm.
incorporate all this, it'll get there. And Disney Plus, who knows? Maybe when you're scrolling through your TV, you're going to be able to like do something with an NFT you bought that gives you some bonus feature on a movie or something like that. But I found that this was really cool and kind of went under the radar. But once again, one of these huge companies talking about Web3 and getting in the game.
Yeah, I mean, man, this is huge for sure. My first thought is welcome. If you guys need any sort of information or any sort of help, that the lawyer can't provide you, Jones Sticky on Twitter, feel free to reach out to me. I would be happy to lend my services. Number two, the
He
second thought that I had
photocopied
was
a law license behind him. You can see it right there.
like,
But you don't have to
yeah,
be a lawyer these
exactly. There
days.
it
You
is
can just
back
go
there
online and
for
get
sure.
creative.
My second thought is like, again, huge companies are flooding the market right now. I think even this morning I just read that like Hugo Boss had partnered with Imaginary Ones or Imaginary Friends, whatever that project's name is, to do the exact same thing to engage in some sort of storytelling. And then my third thought is, one of the biggest questions or some of the thoughts that go around the NFT and Web3 space is who is going to be the next Disney? What brand is going to emerge from Web3 and become the next Disney? And I guess the answer is it's going to be Disney. Disney's going to be the one to be the next Disney. And so, yeah, I think that that's a really beautiful opportunity for them to come into this space. It's going to bring a lot of people. Hopefully they're able to find a way to make that transition smooth, right? That's something that we always talk about is like, how do we get new people into this space? I think if someone's going to figure it out, it's going to be the geniuses at Disney. Three, my final question is, talk to me a little bit about what it means. Like, why would they hire a crypto or an NFT lawyer? Like, do you think they're planning on launching a collection and, they just want to ensure that maybe they are not overstepping any bounds? They're just kind of like preparing to do something big. Are they exploring? Like, what role would this play? What exactly does this mean for the company? And
Well, it's
your thoughts?
risky. It's risky. Crypto is like if you're a publicly traded company and you're not going to mess with your brand by getting into some like pump and dump or partnering with somebody that's not legit. They do their due diligence and they take their time. So it's probably one just a liability. Like they're not just going to do something dumb that's going to put the company in a position to be on the news for getting involved in some cryptocurrency, scam or something like that. But two, I would imagine that they are going to execute deals. And so when you're doing any sort of like merchandise stuff or like, there's just a lot of legal stuff behind the scenes that you have to take into account when you're going to start selling stuff to the general public and just anything around crypto. Like if you're going to accept crypto, it's not technically, a currency that's backed by the government or the Federal Reserve or anything like that. So there's probably a ton of reasons. The third is like if they're going to buy stuff and they're going to do like mergers and acquisitions, you need a guy that can do that. But I'm guessing based on what this article says, it's more for like they don't want to put themselves in a position where it backfires on them. But one thing that I did find interesting here is it did say the CEO went on to shortly discuss the company's plans to enable everybody, including those unable to visit Disney properties and events, to virtually experience something that's akin to a physical experience, mentioning a potential existence of an experiential platform, which is interesting. So maybe you buy an NFT, you get access to like a metaverse version of Disney where you get the fast pass or who knows what it is, but I don't know. It's kind of like low key big news right here.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely huge news. Not even low key, high key, huge news. I think that that's really awesome. And again, Disney, for me personally, I'd love to take this opportunity as the spokesman for the entire blockchain. Welcome.
Hey, do you remember on that Mr. Beast podcast that I sent you the other night, where he
Hmm.
was talking about why he created the candy bar to like he wants to try to put Hershey's out of business, so he takes every attempt to like just tell them like
Shit
these
on
are
Hershey's. And
boomers,
first
they're
of
out of
all,
touch, they're whatever. Here's the thing: if you get big enough, these guys just buy you. And if they can't buy you, they build something to put you out of business, or they buy your competitor, right? So I just think it's funny when those guys say you're going to really go up against one of the biggest corporations out there that pretty much owns everything, and you think that, like Hershey's, for example, you think that you're going to come and just put them out of business. Like, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean. And I also want to go ahead and extend this to Mr. Beast. This show hates Hershey. There's nothing good that has ever come out of Hershey. As a matter of
I love
fact,
Hershey's. What are you talking about?
we hate Hershey. Hold on, Hofstra, I'm working on a little deal here. We hate Hershey and everybody who loves them. Mr. Beast, go ahead and blow our stuff up. Thank you for your support. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
I
that's
love
a great
Hershey's.
point.
So, Mr. Beast, I think you're very ambitious, and I think that you're going to do well, but you're not putting Hershey's out of business. It's
It,
just not going to happen.
it's all sarcasm. You guys don't get Hofstra's sarcasm. He's joking with you. He doesn't mean it. Mr. Beast, blow our video up. So, what else do
so,
we have here?
so anyway, talking about another big player
This
here
is huge. As a matter of fact, this big player that you're bringing up now.
in the NFT space, I guess is huge, but this is why I kind of highlighted Cool Cats. Normally, like in this industry or in this, NFT world, it runs on speculation, news, and hype. So something like this would normally like shoot the price of an NFT project, right out the roof. But Animoca Brands made a strategic investment in Cool Cats Group. So they're joining the Bored Ape Yacht Club brand of somehow. So 10KTF, Take a Drink, is also associated with Animoca Brands. And what I think is going to happen, this is pure speculation, is they are building the metaverse play. And it's also going to be a game, and they're going to need assets. So all they're doing here is just bringing another one in that's going to be played in their game.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, speaking of that, I have the Animoca Brands page pulled up and I'm just on their blockchain gaming investments. I mean, look at some of these names: Atari, Axie Infinity. I mean, I don't know all of them. Some are hits, some are misses. Splinterland, Rumble Kong League. Let's continue scrolling down this list here. I mean, you guys can see that they're involved in like some of the biggest I want to say they're also investors in Coinbase. Don't hold me to that. Doesn't look like that one. But OpenSea, Magic Eden, Polygon, Dapper, Wax. I mean, these things, like you name it, I feel like they have a hand in it. This is like a huge play. As a matter of fact, it's like if you want to be associated with somebody, I would definitely say it's got to be like Animoca Brands, MetaMask, Ledger. I mean, look at this. It's crazy how far their reach really extends. So for me, if I'm a Cool Cats holder, or if I was thinking about getting into Cool Cats, I'm fired up. This is a huge opportunity.
So here's what's going to happen, though, right? You got Disney sitting on the sidelines hiring an attorney, watching these startups, right? Like this says, Animoca Brands which recently closed a strategic funding round of $110 million, which is nothing if you look at their valuation right now is $5.9 billion. What did the UFC sell for? $4 billion? Chump change. Who was the biggest investor in that? Disney.
Crazy.
Okay,
Yeah,
here's
I
what
mean, yeah,
happened.
you're right. With
But
ESPN,
here's
you're
what's
correct.
happened. So they're not just going to jump into Web3 and NFTs. So if you remember when you had to KYC yourself for the Bored Ape Yacht Club land sale, Animoca Brands is a publicly traded company, right?
Hmm.
Again, it's a liability thing. If they start messing around with this and then all of a sudden, something happens and they get tied up into some sort of lawsuit, their investment is in jeopardy. So what
Yeah.
happens in situations like this is, let's just say, for example, Animoca Brands and Bored Ape Yacht Club, 10KTF, this whole community becomes the predominant project, right?
Okay.
It's worth
Okay.
5.9 billion. And then someone at Disney goes, you know what, we really need to get into this space. But you kind of have to be Web3 native. A lot of these projects that try to get in, they don't do as well as the Web3 native projects. And maybe they look at this and everyone's saying, oh, this is going to be the next Disney, or this is going to be the next,
Web
whatever,
DJ.
right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be out of the question for a business to structure it and try to make it, as safe as possible, as compliant as possible. And then when Disney feels like it checks all the boxes and they're not going to buy a $5 billion asset and then have to worry about it getting shut down by the SEC or something like that, then a company like that might go, you know what? Imagine if Disney pulled that into their ecosystem. Look at the valuation. That's all these companies do is they buy up stuff, they give them money, they grow it. If someone goes, you know what, there's a lot of legs on this over the next 30 years, we want to invest in the NFT space, you can either build or you can buy. So what's going to
Yeah.
happen? These guys are just sitting back waiting for, regulation to kind of, settle and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden they're just going to go, yeah, I buy a 50% stake in that, or I own that. I'm going to put it in my platform, and then boom, let's see what we can do with it. Because if you read this, it talks about this quote right here. It says, where was it talking about? It was talking about how they are. I don't know if it's on this one. Sorry. Web3 gaming. So play to earn gaming and the experiential Web3 gaming. It ties into exactly what they were saying on the Disney stuff, which is, they're building out, like if you follow Cool Cats, they're building a game. That was like a huge thing where people are like, why are they building a game? This doesn't make any sense. Well, maybe they go, our game sucks. We're going to scrap that. Animoca buys in and they go, we really like your platform. And they say, well, you can integrate pretty easy on our thing. Okay, throw that out. Now they got a game.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's definitely the play. Let me hit you with some quick rapid fire, Hofstra. What you got for us here? Number one, does Disney buy Yuga Labs?
Not right now, but eventually it's going to go up and someone's going to buy it. And who has that kind of money? A Disney or an investment company that they're throwing some money into.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a coin flip.
It is a coin flip, I think. So, it really just depends on the timing is everything, right? If Yuga Labs comes to a place where they're hurting for cash, which they shouldn't be, they just raised a ton of cash, and Disney is ready to buy in, maybe it happens, maybe not. Number two, what blockchain does Disney realize success in Web3?
Damn, that's a really good question. I don't know. I'm like, do they just buy their own? Do they just buy
okay, that's also a great play. So yeah,
do they pull a UFC VeChain move? Because they can control it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. If Disney decides to expand just beyond one of their subsidiaries,
I don't think it's Ethereum. I don't think it's Ethereum because why would they want decentralized assets? Look at Vivi.
Yep.
Vivi's doing all the Marvel stuff. It doesn't make sense for them to lose control. So I don't think it would be Ethereum. Plus, the average person is not going to spend gas like you would have to.
And the average person doesn't like owning 0.001 of anything. The average person wants to own one whole something. That's the largest opportunity for mass adoption in the blockchain. Is like, obviously, if you're invested in the blockchain, you want the price to go up. But if you want new people to come in, people are uncomfortable paying $100 for something that costs $2,000 and getting a fraction of it. They want to own a whole thing. The consumer behavior mentality just isn't there. So I agree with you. I don't think that Ethereum is it.
And here's the thing though, I don't think NFTs are going to be used the same way we know them now. Right?
No, definitely not.
You're going to be able to buy them with a credit card. It's going to integrate into a wallet, really simple. How you're going to interface with, like, let's say Disney Plus, you're not going to do what we're doing right now. It would have to streamline and it would have to be simple. And I don't think that exists yet.
Agreed.
But here's the thing. Facebook and Meta, like we talked about on the last one, just announced that you're going to be able to integrate NFTs and multiple blockchains into, Facebook and Instagram. Well, maybe they're just kind of watching how that stuff works and then they adopt similar stuff. And, then it's a membership pass. You're buying a membership pass.
Exactly. And that's what I think is going to be like the first wave of low hanging fruit and revolution is going to be like these true membership passes to something that already exists in Web 2. And it's just going to be, sweet to have. I think the full send Metacard is a great example of that, bringing that up again. By the way, I missed a play on that just last night. Man, I saw it just last night. So the floor is like 0.5 or something like that. You know me, I just like to scroll through things I like. And I pull up and I see one listed at 0.38. I go, I add it to my card, I press buy, everything like that. My transaction failed. I go and look at it and it sold like 30 seconds prior. I was furious. And that's because OpenSea added the add to your cart feature, and I can't just buy now on things anymore. So OpenSea, you owe me 0.12 or whatever the difference was between whatever that was going to be in the floor.
But then you looked in your wallet and all your money was gone because it was like a bullshit scam because it doesn't make sense. You're like, oh, why was it 0.38? Well, I don't know. Maybe you clicked on something that you shouldn't have. And that's why you need a Web3 attorney.
And that's why you need a Web3 attorney.
Right.
Okay,
Imagine all these people are buying shit and all of a sudden their wallets get drained. You got a class action lawsuit against Disney.
Most definitely. Yeah. My last rapid fire question. All right. So we've been talking about Disney. We've been talking about Animoca brands. You lock them in the octagon. They're stuck in the 8. Who wins and how? Cage match.
Board 8. They're just a little more grimy. I think you got,
Well, you
new
think
school versus the old school. They got new weapons, new toys.
How do you think they win? They submit them? KO? Decision?
Yeah, oh, dude, you're asking some tough questions.
I'm asking the questions that people want to know, Hofstra.
Decision. They win by decision. It's close.
Beautiful. Outstanding. What else do you have for us today, Hofstra?
That's it, man. I just got those 3 stories. I mean, there's a ton of other stuff I could have brought up, but I felt like those were newsworthy and good to talk about.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Remember, if you enjoy this content, the number one thing you can do is like, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend about us. We're going to be running Twitter Spaces again this Sunday, every Sunday at 4 p.m. Central. Tune in. I know it's during the day, but we're still calling it Twitter or NFTs After Dark, Web3 DJs. We got a star-studded cast lined up, including people like Alan Reyes, a big friend of the show, and a ton of other individuals. Make sure you tune in for that. After each show, we're going to be running for like 15 minutes and do just a quick recap, talk to you guys about everything you need to know in the space. 15 minutes, the most digestible NFT content out there. What else you got for us, Hofstra? You want to close this out?
Yeah, I just got this cool shirt.
It is cool.
Took me a while, but I got one.
It is cool.
No, man, that's it. That's all I got. Who knows?
Okay.
Maybe a week from now we'll still be talking about Renga, but hopefully not. Maybe there's some new project and everyone starts talking about a bull market. Who knows?
Absolutely. All right, everybody. We're praying for the Phillies to lose and for good times to come back again. If you're betting on the Phillies, let us know in the comments so we can block you. Otherwise, let us know what you thought about the show. Let us know who we should bring on the show, what we should talk about, and when we should do it. Until next time, I'm Sticky Finger Jones. We got the man who stacks until it cracks. Hofstra. Peace.